Thanks, everyone, for coming out. This is our 200th episode. We already did the wheel, and I forgot to press record on the audio for that. So
good job,
hopefully
dummy.
It turns out. So we're going to just do like a general kind of ad episode where we go through 5 ads and invite people to come up and make comments with us. All the pictures of the ads are up on the Facebook invite, on the Facebook event. So if you want to look at those pictures, if you want to talk about something, go ahead. Before we do that, let's thank our sponsors, though. Big thanks to Sinasoid Cables. There's a bunch of guys from Sinasoid here. Go shake their hand, give them a kiss on the cheek, give them a big hug, make them feel awkward. They're sponsoring this episode. They've sponsored a ton of our episodes. If there's any reason why you should buy a Sinasoid cable, it is because they're really good cables. They've got a 100-year guarantee on them, and they support content that you really like. I'm sounding like PBS up here, but they make a lot of this possible.
Something about snakes.
Yeah. Buy a Sinasoid cable. It'll make you think there's a snake behind you.
Yeah, Sinasoid.com. They make cables.
And smiles.
We'd also like to thank Pelican NoiseWorks for sponsoring this episode. They make the Pelotar and the Half Horse. You got anything else coming down the pipeline, Leon? The answer is yes. There are more pedals coming from Pelican NoiseWorks. So if you don't like fuzz, why are you even listening to this? What's wrong with you?
Well, should we get started?
No, we shouldn't. I got one more sponsor for the show.
Lay it on me.
After I take a drink of this beer. I'd like to thank everybody who's listening to the show, who's here right now. 200 episodes is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
When we started this, we were just two guys who had spent a lot of time on Instant Messenger talking about Craigslist, almost 4 years ago.
And now we're two guys who spend a lot of time on Facebook groups talking about gear.
So we would not have done 200 episodes if nobody listened to the first 199 episodes. So thank you guys so much for listening. Again, not to go super NPR, but this is listener supported content. We probably would have gotten bored and started a band instead if you guys weren't listening.
Another awful band.
Nobody wants another awful band.
Let's stick around to the end. We're going to have giveaways from a little bit of stuff that we have, and then we got some stuff from Pelican NoiseWorks and Sinasoid to give away. Let's do this thing. Should we sing the theme song or something, or just superimpose it in there?
I don't even know how the theme song goes. You think I listen to this show? This show's garbage.
There we are.
Is that how it goes?
I hope so. All right, we're going to start out with this ad that was sent by...
No, this is never how an episode starts.
Oh, hi, this is Ryan.
And this is Steve, and you're listening to Six Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
Here we are. It's hard to do a podcast in a different setting like this.
How dare you, sir?
I know, right?
This is a part where you ask me what's new.
Oh, gosh, we're going to do the whole thing. Steve, what's new?
So a few weeks ago, I was out running, and I found a guy's Wisconsin state identification in a gutter in San Diego.
Which guy was it? What's
Just
his name?
Man, I'm not going to name names. That's
embarrassing. What's his driver's license number?
No, it was a state ID. So I actually went on Facebook to stalk this dude.
Of course.
And sent him a
As
message.
You're prone to do.
Sent him a message, and I was like, hey, man, I have your Wisconsin state ID. If you want it, I will give it to you. If you don't want it, I'll shred it. So what's your deal? And he messaged me back, and he was like, yeah, I kind of need that, but I'm not in San Diego right now. So back and forth. I gave it back to him today, and he gave me $10. Easiest $10 I've ever made. Perfect flip.
Nice flip.
Perfect flip.
Perfect flip. My question is how is this related to guitars at all?
It's not. It's just about flipping.
You need to go do a call into the Flippin' Flippers podcast.
It was all benefit because I was running, so already good for me. And then I flipped for $10, also good for me.
Yes. This is the Good for Steve podcast.
Welcome.
We're talking about events that are good for Steve.
What's new with you, Ryan?
I got nothing new. This is what's new, is that I'm here and there's a bunch of people watching us and we're podcasting.
When you set this up, I was like, wait, where are the condensers?
Oh, yeah. We're using dynamics because that'll help with the noise a bit.
We're going to stand the whole time? That sounds terrible.
Well, it's better for you, Steve. It's like a standing desk.
Oh, standing desk.
Yeah.
I want one of those, but I have a cubicle. It doesn't fit.
I don't think the banter is working very well for a live show. I think we should stay on topic for a live show.
Oh, man. What exactly is the topic? Oh,
the topic is guitar stuff, dude.
So here's what I want to know. Actually, I think.
Am I going to go your way?
People who are here, shut up. How is Lenny Kravitz within the topic of this show?
He's a guitar guy.
Barely. I mean, he was a guitar guy, and now he's an actor in the Hunger Games.
Doesn't mean he stopped playing guitar.
Or did he?
I don't know. I don't think he did.
I was thinking about this on the way here, and I was thinking that, the Sinasoid guys flew down from Seattle, so that's like 1,500 miles. And Michael,
is that our farthest? Is anyone farther than that?
No, Michael Adzant, flew in from St. Louis, which is like 2,000 miles.
That's farther.
But apparently someone here unrelated to the show is from like another country on the other side of the pond, so to speak, which is like several thousands of miles away.
Yes.
So Grant, I think you win the prize for furthest not flying in, because apparently I think you already live here. Not really. Like he lives less than a mile away, but he's also from another country. So I don't know. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Steve is just impressed to meet people with accents.
That's true. That's true. Ryan, who's your favorite doctor?
I don't remember the name of my doctor.
The correct answer.
I only see him every now and then.
The correct answer is David Tennant. Let's keep moving.
Okay. Let's get into an ad and let's do this show instead of like swimming in all this nonsense that we have going on.
Isn't that what we do, though?
Yeah. So we're going to invite people to come up and contribute to our discussion of these ads as we go. And Sean Pierce Johnson requested that he jump on this first one. He was very excited about it on the Facebook group. So get up here. Let's talk about this thing.
Yeah, this is a relict Les Paul Special P90 2017 with upgraded Gibson pickup in Bigsby. This was sent in by Ryan Kick.
Thanks for sending it, Ryan. Got a cool name, Ryan.
Let's see this stupid thing again.
So this ad says, you are looking at a relict and modified 2017 Les Paul Special by Epiphone. I put an aftermarket Gibson logo on the headstock because I'm an idiot. I mean,
more appropriate description for
as
that.
As part of the refinishing job. Oh, Vanny, yeah, you're why? Okay, but it has been painted over in order to avoid being mistaken for a counterfeit USA Gibson. Never gonna happen.
Oh, come on.
What do you do with the regular guitar after you purchased it? It's up to you. Yeah, I guess that's true. It's up to you.
Yeah, after you buy something, it's totally up to you what you do
So what
with
I'm
it.
hearing here is I bought a $129 guitar, and I slapped a Gibson sticker on it, and now it's worth $499.
Apparently.
All right, here we go. Frets have been leveled. Fretboard edges have been sanded to provide a comfortable soft edge, just like every Fender guitar on the market. The back of the neck has been sanded down because I don't know. The tuners have been replaced with vintage Clouson tulip tuners. Tailpiece, who cares? The neck pickup has been replaced with a genuine Gibson P90. Cool. Okay, yeah. The bridge pickup is another P90, but not a Gibson. It's a GFS P90 size humbucker. That was a total of $10 out of your pocket. The tone pot has been replaced with
man,
a
he's being
salty.
Really salty.
Damn,
My God,
Steve.
man. What, you think you get to 200 episodes, now you get to act all like Mr.
Yeah.
Big Shot now?
No,
Get
this
Steve-
is
get
this
Steve
is
in
my
front of an
brain space.
audience.
This is his brain
This is
space,
my life.
apparently.
This tells me that Steve isn't giving his all when it's just me and him in the garage.
I mean, two Kirkland scotches down, and it's a little hard to focus. The tone pot has been replaced with a high-quality push-pull alpha pot with orange drop capacitor. Pulling out the pot puts the pickups in a half out of phase with each other for distinct, but not thin, Peter Green-like tone. The body has been sanded and artificially aged and treated with 3 kinds of nitrocellulose lacquer. 3 kinds of lacquer?
Yeah, 3 different flavors. It's like
I didn't
Neapolitan.
I didn't
Fender.
even know there were 2.
It's a gobstopper finish.
Everything's been aged. Sean, what do you have to add to this?
Oh my god. Like, okay, did everybody actually see this picture in the group? Because if you have not, look at this picture right now. Okay, first things first. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because my first good electric guitar was an Epiphone Les Paul Special.
Uh-huh.
I still have that guitar, and it is a fine guitar. But looking at this one, first of all, it's
You have
like,
regret that you didn't make it live up to its potential.
yeah. Oh, absolute regret here. I mean, mine may have Sharpie Frankenstein stripes on it like Eddie Van Halen, but this is just fantastic. The whole counterfeit Gibson thing, I mean, there's some legitimacy to that because I know that certain customs agencies in certain countries are getting like really hard on the counterfeit Gibsons, but
It's still got the Epiphone headstock shape.
It's got the Epiphone headstock shape, and it looks like he painted with some sort of really weird matte green painting over the Gibson sticker.
It's
Okay,
like
it's reflective.
But why is it reflective? I don't understand it. It brings more attention to it.
it's like someone told him, "Hey, dude, you could get in a lot of trouble if you sell that as a Gibson," and he got really freaked out and like tried to cover it up with whatever he happened to have. It was like his sister's nail polish or something like that.
Oh my god. My favorite thing though is the Bigsby because the bridge is one of those like old school wraparound style bridges that doesn't have any string guides. So it's like, oh, hey, I got my Bigsby tailpiece over here, which, you know, on a good day will stay fairly well in tune, but now you have no chance of keeping this thing in tune.
That's why I swapped out the bridge on the one I've got over there. I'm like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
I put a different thing on there. But anyways.
Yeah, that'll work.
That'll work more than that was. But I was always...
This thing is just like...
Yeah.
I mean, I can see like, oh, hey, it's cool. Like he tried to age it to make it his own thing. But... And I will say, having a legitimate Gibson P90 in the neck, I mean, I've had Epiphone P90s and Gibson P90s. They all sound fine.
Yeah, neck pickups all sound the same anyways, right?
They're gonna... They all sound fine.
We're getting booze.
They're just different flavors.
This is a new experience.
But I think the whole thing is just, when you look at this guitar, when you really like stand back and take a look at it, $500 for that.
Yeah, there's no way,
Like,
right?
a brand new one of those guitars was like under $200.
Yeah.
That is not $300 worth of modification.
No. It might be $300 worth of parts, like after the pickups are done and the Bigsby.
No, it's
Not
gotta
with the
be-
GFS
It's got
pickup.
to be
the
mostly
GFS
work.
pickup.
That GFS pickup is like, I think $30 or $40. I mean, I guess it's a legit Bigsby, which might be $100. Even that Gibson neck pickup would be like $100. If you bought it brand new, like $150 maybe. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention right there, but I'm pretty sure that's not $300.
But see,
No.
the thing with his description, too, is it's like, okay, I see that he's trying to get people enticed to buy this, but it's like you could do that to really any guitar and make it playable to, you know, like...
Oh, sure.
You round the fret edges. You can take any guitar to any tech, and they'll round your fret edges, and it'll play better.
I mean, even with all the stuff I did to my Epiphone over here, that's still a $99 guitar. If I wouldn't try to sell that, no one's going to pay me, $300 for that, $400 for that.
But did you round the fret edges?
I had to completely level a couple frets.
But did you round the
did
fret
not,
edges?
and
He did not round the fret edges.
I didn't even use one variety of nitro on it. So this
Let
guy's
alone
got
3.
This guy's got 3 varieties of nitro.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Well, with these modifications, I'd pay $200.
You would pay $200.
I would pay $200
Sold.
for this.
Man, Ryan's making some money
I didn't
today.
say I had the money. I'm just telling you that
I'll
you're...
buy another one.
Yeah,
I'll buy 2 more.
another one.
You,
Buy 2 more.
you basically live up the street, so we can still work this out.
I basically live up the street.
Globally speaking.
Globally speaking. Tell
speaking.
that to the near 2 hours that I spent driving down here.
Compared to the people who came from other states and countries, I mean, you're just up the road.
Well, maybe they found hotels
if you guys,
close by.
Local guys who are
Jeez.
here. Next time if you want to impress us next time for 300th episode, fly away farther, then come back. then then we'll be impressed, you know?
Yeah, I live in Poway, but I flew to Frankfurt first.
Yeah. We're really going for that distance prize.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
this
the
thing's just a total pile of garbage. I mean, for $150, I feel like I might be tempted locally.
Yeah.
Just for like a parts bucket.
No, for $500, I mean, yeah, that's just, it's way too much money to ask for something that is so intensely personalized.
Oh, totally. It's not even personalized though. It just looks like someone experimented relicking it.
Well, I mean, you can experiment relicking, and that's fine. I mean, I would pay for certain experimental relicking if it looks cool and it actually benefits to the overall aesthetic, and like with the sanding off the finish on the back of the neck.
Yeah.
For me, that's like a big plus because those glossy finishes on the back of the neck always catch my sweaty hands when I'm playing. But
Because you're always sweating.
I'm always sweaty. I sweat before the set even begins because I'm the roadie.
We
half
have
the time
confirmation from
for
the
gigs,
audience.
too. Yeah, confirmation from the audience. Thanks, hon. Love you too. Yeah, 500. Yeah, 150 tops.
Yeah. What do you think, Steve? Is that the right price?
My
Are you gonna price is right and go 551?
I have a different question here.
Uh-oh.
The store, so this is from Reverb. Gonna do a little expose. This store is called Foo Maker. If this guy's Foo Maker, and personally, I'm a fan of Dave Grohl, I think I automatically have to be against this ad because that puts me on the side of the Foo Fighter.
Oh, okay.
But then,
That's really like
if I
a dumb joke, Steve.
If I side with the Foo Fighter and this guy's a Foo Maker, if he doesn't exist, then I'm out of a job. Because who's there for me to fight if nobody's making Foo?
Are we talking about something else yet? I'm waiting for that moment.
I'm just standing up here wondering why the hell I agreed to do this.
You asked to do this. You didn't agree to do this. You requested it. Like, I want to get up there and do this.
Hey, I could have very easily just said, "No, man, that's not my thing. I don't want to do it."
All right, next we're going to tackle this 81
Thanks,
Squier
Sean.
Bullet.
Sean.
Thanks,
Oh,
guys.
hey, Sean
Big
Pierce
thanks to
Johnson.
Sean.
Thanks, guys.
Go check out his YouTube channel.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sean Pierce Johnson.
He deserves subscribers more than we do, so go follow him.
Aww.
That's not even a lie. That's truth.
Aww. Now I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. You should feel good.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Happy 200 episode.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
This next next
ad.
ad is was sent by Paul Pennington. It's an 80s
Didn't he send the
Squier.
last one too?
No,
We're
last
doing a
one was
double
from
poll?
Ryan Crick.
Oh, that's right. Ryan
Ryan
Kick.
Kick.
Yeah. Cool name.
Are you even
Cool
paying
name.
attention?
I'm trying.
This guy. All right, this is an 80s Squier Bullet. I don't know why we're talking about this. Ryan
Because I
liked
think it's
it.
freaking cool.
It's
And
got
look at
some
these,
nice
look,
pictures.
Look at these beautiful photos. I want to date this guitar.
80s Squier Bullet, 1980
Okay, read it.
Sunburst. This is an early 1980s Japanese made, which was very high quality for a low price. Before cost to build these made Fender move import manufacturing to another country, Korea, Indonesia, etc. The 80s. Neck has a nice little flame to it. I tried to show it in pictures, but it's harder to see in pictures. Guitar has dings and such, but it's a solid player and performer. People love the necks on these things. Lots of lore about these necks being leftover USA stock necks. Again, lore. Not sure if it's true. It will not claim it is. Just stating the lore is out there.
Guys, lore.
Lore.
Let's all say it at once. Lore.
Plays and sounds great. It feels like a solid guitar. I've run these single coil pickups through a bunch of weird distortion pedals, analog delays, slow vibrato pedals. What about fast vibrato
Yeah,
pedals?
come on.
With the guitar
Get with the
tone
times.
knob rolled way off back. Creates a crazy wall of sound out of this little but strong Strat Tele hybrid out of the early 1980s. Also, when you shut off all the effects, the clean sound is water and beautiful. We'll
Clean
consider a
sound
trade
is
for other guitar. This guy is asking a price that we did not figure out. I want to say it was like $400.
Yeah, I guess I didn't get a screen grab of the price.
You know what I realized while I was reading this? I own this guitar in black.
I know. Haven't you owned a couple of these? But the one you have doesn't have a trim, does it?
I think,
Because that's what really stuck out to me is that this thing has a tremolo on it, and
maybe the one I have has like the hardtail.
I'm wondering is that aftermarket? Because I don't remember ever seeing one of these with a trim on it.
It's actually standard. So on the Japanese models, they had both the hardtail version of the Fender Bullet and the trem strap model,
Gotcha.
or the Strat trem model.
Well, I
Card.
just got to say, in between the description and the pictures in this ad, I feel like the guy posting it has a little bit of a love affair with this thing, and I don't know why he's selling it. He's like written a love note about it, and he took these pictures that look like engagement photos of this thing. It's like he waited for like the golden hour to take pictures of it out on a farm or something like that. It looks like the cover of like a country western album. And he's really selling me on this. If this was local, I might be tempted to go get it. I've always wanted one of these, and it's just a really beautiful example.
Yeah, I feel like top dollar on this is maybe $250, $300 right now.
Really?
But a lot of these, well, so the issue is that it's Squier branded. No matter what, like Squier branded stuff has a lot of trouble breaking that like $350 mark. But it is old. It is great. These necks are tiny.
Yeah, they're real fast.
If this neck is anything like the one that I have, like literally, I don't have the biggest hands.
Let me see those hands, Steve. Not the biggest. They're about the same color as mine, and I don't have the biggest either.
But so the necks are really small. They actually remind me a lot of the Jack Sting that I have.
Oh yeah, totally.
But even the American Bullets guitars were tiny.
These things
necks.
just have a cool look with like the kind of like an odd take on the Strat body,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
funny for them to do considering they own that body. They could put a Strat body on there, but they came up with their own body shape for this and then strapped a Tele-style neck on it.
How much money do you think they saved by like reducing the size of the strap body by like 15%?
In 80s dollars or in today's dollars? I'm sure back.
Yes.
I'm sure back 15%. You think?
I don't know.
I'll
It's
take that.
it's
That
not
sounds like a
that
good
much
ghost.
smaller.
That's a good guess. It probably meant they could fit like 3 bodies into a wood blank instead of 2, and that's what it came out of. Like they got a bunch of wood blanks, and they're like, these are too small to get like 3 or 4 bodies. Let's just make the body smaller. That's my guess.
That's sad, and also probably true.
I've always wondered if that's why the Fender headstock is shaped the way it is because you can combine it and match them up. Like the bulb fits into the cut, and you could get multiples out of the same sheet of wood.
What was the word that you had everybody say earlier?
Lore.
Lore.
Let's jump on this next ad. This is a Mantoy trade for bass. Does anyone want to jump up here and talk about this? Get up here.
Hey.
Being joined by Aaron Bubo.
Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop
No,
shop
no,
for
no,
all
no!
things
Stop it!
guitar
Stop!
culture
Stop!
nonsense.
We're not.
I'm Aaron.
I was going to introduce you, but no, I
Wrong show.
I talked a lot of trash about Phil earlier, so I will not be Phil this episode.
Which one of you does Heidi Klum?
It's Aaron.
Oh, it's just Heidi
Aaron does
Klum.
Heidi Klum.
That's just Heidi. She hangs out.
Oh, yeah.
She's hiding.
Heidi is hiding.
This is Mantoy trade for bass, $12,345 in West Nashville. This was sent by Mark Swartz. Now he says, the ad says, have a brand new Mantoy for trade. My bass crapped out and I have a show next Friday. What you got? Specifics detailed in text after you respond to ad with number. Apparently Aaron is an expert in Mantoys.
So typically, these ads are accompanied with like a picture of a microphone in front of someone's.
Oh yeah,
Between
yeah.
someone's legs or
something
something.
like a crotch shot.
Yeah, but this guy has like no, like he's not trying.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of. It's open to interpretation. Like, is he selling a man that's a toy or a toy that's for men? Like, what's going on here?
I don't understand this ad at all. What is a Mantoy?
That's what I'm wondering.
Right,
I'm
and is
hoping
he
Aaron
the
can
toy?
enlighten us. Is he the toy? Is there a toy?
Is he selling? Wait, what?
And what is what is a proper like base value to Mantoy ratio when you're doing a trade? You know?
Yeah, I think
Like,
he's trying to sell Richard Pryor circa
I'm pretty sure-
1979.
I'm pretty sure the rate for Mantoys is like $200 an hour.
At least, yeah.
I'd hope so. That's a good amount of money.
I don't know. I am actually not an expert on Mantoys like I thought I was.
I thought you'd know a lot, honestly.
The thing I like about this ad is that it has a really big price, but he's trying to trade for a bass.
Is it a big price, or is it just a listing of numbers in
here's
order?
a question of etiquette. If you're making a trade, do you need to list a price if you want to trade?
Oh, yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
a good question.
I mean, if you're trying to trade a Mantoy, unless you post a picture, how's anybody supposed to know what the value of your Mantoy is?
I
Well, you
always
gotta
assumed
text
on
and then get
Craigslist
texted.
if you're doing a trade, the correct price to put in is either $0 or $1, and people know that's not the real price.
Right.
Just
Or
like, oh, they're
nine
just filling.
nines in a row.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
12,345.
That's true.
I guess he is doing that with this random number here. But I just wonder if there's some guy out there or lady, and not to be sexist, who sees this ad, wants a man toy, has a bass, but it's like, man, I just don't know if my bass is worth it. So it's like, what is the bass that's like on the edge of like, that's the right bass to trade for a man toy? Like, do we have to be out of Squier territory? Are we going to Fender American like jazz bass here, or are we like going all the way up to like one of those funky, crazy basses? What are those called? It's a W word.
I feel like
A war.
Like a Warwick or
I feel
something.
like a Warwick is like under. So here's my question: man toy. This is where we earn our E rating for like the third time in history.
Here it comes.
Man toys is euphemism for a fleshlight, right?
No, I thought
I
a man
thought it was
toy
like
was
a
like
like-
a gigolo.
I thought it was like a gimp.
Like, is it a toy? Is it a toy for a man, or is it a man who's a toy? Yeah, like a gimp.
We're all like
Either
on
way,
different pages here.
We're all
And
on
that's really the problem with the ad is that it's so wide open. It could be anything.
It's broad.
right.
It's
We're
very
all on
broad.
different pages, but we're in the same book.
That's true.
So I don't know. We're kind of looking at range areas, but like if you go with my suggestion, I hope it's
there
not.
are children
I hope it's
here.
not
What are we
used.
doing?
They're all small children.
Yeah, they're too young
None of them speak English that I know of.
because they're so young.
Right, they're babies.
That's the point you're making. Yeah, babies don't speak anything yet.
Right.
Okay, make your point now. Make your point, please.
I did. You weren't paying attention.
I'll pay.
I just want to know.
I promise I'm paying attention now,
I guess
Mr.
it does
Steve.
say it does say brand new man toy. What are my guarantees that this man toy has never been used?
Well, if it's brand new, it better have never been used. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like if we're doing it by reverb, then this better be mint.
Yeah, this
Beyond
this is,
mint. It's like new in box.
New
yeah,
in
because,
box.
because
It's a nib.
No relics. No relics on your man toy, please.
Unless it's a factory relic.
new items on Reverb can only be sold by retailers.
Wait, what is a factory relic in this context? Is that like? I don't want to go down that road. Like you opened up a weird direction there. I don't want to cover that.
Yeah, I took it in a weird place.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You made it weird.
No one wants to talk about factory relic man toys.
Do we have anything else we can say about this awful, awful ad?
I don't think we do.
This is the worst ad ever.
Yeah. Thanks for going on this ride with us. This
Thanks.
man toy ride, Aaron.
Thanks for friendship.
Yeah. There it is. I thought the last episode was still going on because you guys didn't. It just ended.
That was the end of our episode 3 weeks later, probably.
Everyone go listen to the Gear Slim podcast. It's the closest thing we have to a spin-off of our own. Oh my gosh.
We were just handed beers.
Sinasoid just brought us beers. Thanks, Andy.
I don't know what that is, but it tastes interesting.
Oh, it's really good.
I'll do a quick
really good.
shout out. People in San Diego area. Ryan and I have been going to Tiger for various functions for quite some time. So big thanks to Tiger
Oh,
for
absolutely.
being flexible with us. They normally don't do reservations, but they let us take up their entire back patio, probably because we told them that there would be a lot of people here. And they were like, we did some quick math, and like 2 beers times like 30-ish people is more beers than we normally sell on a Saturday afternoon. So let's make
I'm
this
pretty
happen.
sure they can pack this place out just fine without us. So big
But-
thanks to Tiger.
But on a Saturday at 2:30, who drinks at
Yeah,
Saturday
dude.
on a 2:30?
Everyone who just woke up because they were out last night. Everyone here drinks Saturday on a 2:30. Look at them all.
All right, this next ad, also sent by Paul Pennington. Jeebus.
I knew there was going to be a double Paul in here.
There might be a triple Paul in here. This is Fender Boots.
The boots.
This is a Fender Classic Chelsea boots. I don't know enough about boots to know what Chelsea boots are, but it says selling a used pair of men's Fender Mercy boots. Make my mind up. Are they Chelsea boots or are they Mercy boots?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about boots.
Size 9, worn only a few times, so not my size. Anyone here a size 9?
There you go.
We got 3 size 9s up in here.
We got some $20 boots for you.
So if you're in Lawrenceville, you can get these boots for $20. The sole and interior are in excellent condition. The exterior has a few small blemishes. Well, they're boots. Of course they do. Which can be seen in my photos here. I paid $96 when new. For more information, please call name at
Getting
number.
tired of this ad already.
You picked this. What do you want to say about this?
I don't know. Oh, I just want to say that you should never. My life philosophy on clothing and being a guitarist is that you should never ever wear anything you can buy at Guitar Center, and I think this falls under that category. Like I have because I wear Levi's jeans all the time, so I have trouble like wearing like a Levi's like coat or shirt while I'm wearing Levi's pants. I don't like to match brands.
I'm kind of amused that we got some whoops for Levi's.
Everyone loves Levi's. But do you ever feel like I wouldn't want to wear these boots and be playing a Fender guitar at the same time? It would just feel really weird and awkward. It's too much. It's too much.
Here's what.
They're not for rocking. They're for walking.
Do you own any branded clothing? Let me rephrase. Have you bought any branded clothing?
I haven't bought any. Wait, what are you asking? What are you asking me?
So like gear branded.
Branded.
So I had a Fender button up that I bought like.
Okay, I've never bought like a Fender shirt, but I've been gifted them. You know, like
you've been
things
gifted
like that.
Fender shirts.
I think so. Or like I have like a Fender mug and things like that.
Like I think all of the gear clothing I own, I've been given at this point.
I have a bunch of Pelican NoiseWorks shirts, and I wear those all day, every day, because they're the best shirts, and everyone should buy them.
I do.
And Sinasoid shirts. I don't have a Sinasoid shirt yet.
When I got that Walrus,
What the heck, guys?
I got that Walrus Audio shirt at NAMM, or that Walrus Audio hat at NAMM last year, and I literally wore that thing every day, and then I lost it. And I thought about buying a new one, but now it's November, so I'm like, why should I buy a new one? I'll probably get another one at NAMM this year.
They didn't have them at Summer NAMM.
How dare they?
I know. So, anyways, would you wear these boots, Steve?
These boots look like comfortable boots. I would not wear them because they're size 9s.
Well, come on. Play with me, Steve. Play with me in this space.
Are they pedal work?
That's a good question. Are these pedal boarding boots? They actually do look like pretty good pedal boarding boots. Looking at the picture of the sole, there's a really nice straight edge along the side of them. The grip underneath the sole doesn't have deep indents in them, which means your feet won't get caught up on the foot switches. These are good pedal boarding boots from a visual inspection. So maybe Fender did a little bit of designing and figured that out. Maybe I'm just full of it, and these are the best boots any of us could ever buy for $20 anyways. But still, I would totally feel awkward wearing these boots and playing a Fender guitar at the same time. And then what if I was wearing these boots and playing like a Gibson? Would that be awkward?
You would explode.
I would be like a cat with butter on my back, and I would just spin if I dropped, you know? Because cats land feet first, and the butter always has to land on the ground, you know?
Yeah.
You get the joke?
Yeah,
Bad joke?
Bad joke.
I think we're losing the audience.
I guess I don't understand again why these are Chelsea boots and Mercy boots.
Who is this Chelsea girl anyways? Why is she selling her boots? There, we got the audience back.
All right.
Let's move on.
Mercy, like the Mercy River, like ferry down the Mercy.
All right, we've only got one ad left.
Come on, guys.
And then after we do that, should we just open the mic and do like Q&A or like?
Are we good on time for that?
Yeah, we're good. This episode doesn't have to last forever.
How dare you?
This is a really great ad, and the moment I saw this on the Facebook group, I was like, this is 100% going to be in the 200th episode.
So you're saying we kept it 100.
We kept it 100. We kept it 200.
This episode is lit. This is a J. Tercer Flying V Warlord electric guitar with case. Custom painted, quote, Renegade. I don't know what's so renegade about it. It looks like stained glass.
Yeah, it doesn't look renegaded at all. Unless the Renegade guy from the TV show, did he hang out in a church with stained glass?
Lorenzo Lamas?
Yeah. Did Lorenzo Lamas, was there like a church element to the Renegade? I don't remember that show.
I never watched that show. I always would watch like
I just thought he rode a motorcycle around.
Yeah, exactly. I would watch the credits and then I would change his channel.
Well, you watched the best part.
This guitar is on eBay. It's $325.
This thing is crazy looking. Is that he cut that to be that shape, right? That's not the stock shape of these things?
I think that's the stock shape.
No way.
Yeah. Now we
it
all
up.
look it up. This is the part where we all look it up, and Ryan tries to carry the episode while I do more important things.
Okay, J. Tercer Flying V Warlord. So yeah, if it's called a Warlord, then maybe that is the shape. Also, I don't think the person who did this,
That's totally the shape.
I don't think the person who did this paint job is capable of getting cuts that clean. Because if you get close-ups on the paint job, it looks very hand-painted. This is not a professional finish at all. It looks like it's gonna the acrylic paint's gonna rub off while you're playing. But it's just a really crazy theme. And I got to say that my favorite comment on it on the Facebook group is someone just posted a picture of the preacher robot from Futurama, which has like the same exact look as this guitar. So
Wait, which robot?
the preacher robot. You don't know what I'm talking about? Co knows what I'm talking about.
I vaguely know what you're talking about, but I thought he was like purple and gold.
Yeah, but he has like a stained glass element to him.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Wow.
Nice. But this thing is just crazy. I mean, we reference as many podcasts as we can, hoping the success rubs off on us. This thing is just a crazy shape. It's a V shape, but it's got big cuts out of it all over the place.
It's a very like BC Rich does Flying V
yeah.
deal. It's got kind of like that Dean string through body going on. I mean, all in all, it's probably better quality control than Gibson does.
Oh, totally. Well, here's my question. It's definitely like a stained glass theme, but will it church?
24/7.
24/7. That's all this guitar does. It looks to me like a weapon that like an archangel would have. Like if an archangel was playing an electric guitar, this would be
As
it.
a weapon.
As a weapon. Well, he would play it, but his playing would be the weapon. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
right.
he would shoot like holy lightning out of it and
He would play. He would
smite the heathens.
So what you're saying? I don't know. So what you're saying is if an archangel is walking down the road and he was confronted by a demon, and the demon said, "Play me the best song in the world," that this would be the guitar that he would use to play the best song in the world.
Absolutely.
The best song in the world.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to follow your lead to quote the song at all.
This
don't
this
remember right
isn't-
now.
I don't know what the best song in the world sounds like. I only know what a tribute to the best song in the world sounds like.
I think I've run out of energy to say anything about any of these ads anymore. Do we want to go into the Ask Me Anything
I
portion
guess
of
so.
this?
So we didn't plan this. Code just says we should quit while we're ahead.
When were we ahead?
Never.
This whole thing just feels...
So I
like
will
we should
throw
throw it in
out,
the garbage.
like we got a bunch of podcast listeners here. If you guys want to ask us any questions, right now is that time. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking, and then we're going to go into the thanking of our sponsors at the end of the episode.
Get back up here, Aaron.
Oh, good Lord.
Help us carry the show.
I have a question.
Show us
Yeah.
how pros do it.
Who do you think you are?
Hey, Aaron, I got a question for you. What gives you the right?
Retort. How do you sleep at night?
I sleep at night on a Casper mattress. $800. Use code 60cyclesleep
I wish.
on checkout.
I wish.
You're welcome. That was terrible.
That was really bad.
No.
Don't,
is why-
we
this is
can't
why-
afford that.
This is why we only do live shows every 100 episodes.
Anyone else? Otherwise,
Anyone have
we'll be really sad
questions
if there are no other questions.
Anything they want to say on the mic?
That was the question I was going to ask myself.
You can
How
do
dare you.
answers too. If you have an answer
How
to someone
dare
else's
you.
question, you
What
can get
gives
up
you
here.
the right?
You want to promote something you're doing?
All right, we got Ad Zant. This dude.
up here.
Okay, so one thing we have literally. I think we did one Ad Zantazode. I don't know. Well, I got a question for you, man. Do you get bored at work?
It's my lunchtime vice.
Every once in a while, I just sit down on like a Tuesday, and I'm like, all right, so when I'm at work, I got Chrome open, I got my personal email open, I got the podcast email open. Firefox doesn't work with some of the work programs I gotta
Firefox
use.
sucks. Boo.
And so, like the week before, we clear it out. We clear out all the ads in the inbox. So I've got like 3 emails on 60cyclehumpcast@gmail.com on a Tuesday morning, and then I do.
This is a long story, Steve. Get to it.
Shut your mouth, Ryan. So I'm doing my thing, I'm analyzing data. I'm making science happen. I'm saving lives.
He's talking about himself.
And all of a sudden, that number 3 goes to 4, 5, 6, and then it just jumps from 6 to like 31. I'm like, what's going on? And I jump over it, and it's this dude, Ad Zant. What's the question you got for us today, Michael?
Well, actually, I went back. I don't know. Probably you were around 100 episodes, and then I jumped in.
Were you there, Aaron?
And I went to the back. I went to the beginning, and I had to listen to you guys. Painfully listen to you guys since the beginning.
I don't recommend that anyone does that. I honestly don't know why we don't take those first episodes down.
I will say this. I'll compliment you guys. Have come a long way. The podcast is great. I love it.
Thank you.
But in the early days, you really focused on Craigslist, the flipping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I want to know, how much of that do you guys still do? And because some of that has led me to exploring Craigslist more than I normally would have. And I found a couple of deals. I found a couple of pedals. Got a guitar. Thanks. You guys suck. Had to spend money. But no. It's been a really good journey to hear you guys from the beginning to now. I'm just curious if you still have those roots.
I still cruise Craigslist pretty often, and Reverb too. Not as much as I used to. And I was thinking about this when I was getting stuff packed up this morning, is that when we first started the podcast, I was having to cruise Craigslist like all the time just to get content for the show too. It's like we get so much sent to us now, I don't have to do that anymore. So it's like I'm not on the lookout for like crazy ads anymore. But I am still like on the hunt always for new gear, whether I need it or not, or like interesting projects or whatever. But I feel like I'm way less prepared to like jump out of my seat and go get stuff now. And I think it's just, like the time of my life right now. I'm really busy with work, and I've got a toddler, and it's hard to just get up and go and drive for an hour to get something and drive back and make a day out of it and stuff. But yeah, I still have the hunger for the hunt. I'll say that for sure.
Sure, yeah. It's about not only the content for the show, but are you looking for the deal?
Exactly. And something that's changed for me is that I'm doing so much demo stuff now that stuff just gets sent to me a lot. And so it's like my curiosity itch gets scratched through that rather than me trying to find something I've never played on Craigslist or Reverb. So it has gone down a little bit, but it's awesome to be able to host a community where all that is still encouraged, and it's like a big part of our culture for sure.
It's kind of crazy to think about, 200 episodes in, but I think there's a little bit of leverage that we've developed in building. I hate this phrase, but it's true in a small space, a social media empire.
That doesn't sound cocky at all, Steve.
Empire?
It's more of a dynasty, really.
Yeah. We've already written the contracts to pass this on to our children. But in the sense that, like, sometimes when like the newest products come out, like we don't have leverage, but there are certain like there's builders that we've worked with before that we can kind of hit up.
Yeah.
And be like, so when there's a new thing, we work things out. I'll say that, like, and
horse trading.
It's always a little different builder to builder. But that being said, like, I'm in kind of the same boat as Ryan. Like, I'm 2 kids deep.
Leon laughs.
And
it did sound really, really bad, Steve.
And when I flipped that tonal recall a few weeks ago, I think that's like the only thing I flipped in 2017, and I felt really bad. But there's definitely like that itch. The other side of that is with Reverb coming up as strong as they have in the last couple of years, like the market, at least locally, has.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's completely dried out because I got that ZVEX Fuzz Factory, which I haven't flipped yet because we're still kind of sitting on it.
Yeah, we still got content to make.
But it's harder to get good flips. And in turn, like there is that side where it's like if I get something that's a really good flip that I also know will be good content, I have to sit on it until it's time for that content. Whereas 2 years ago, if I got a ZVEX Fuzz Factory for 130, whatever I paid for it, $100, $130, it would have gone straight up to reverb. It would have been gone within 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I would have been done with it. But now it's like, because I got that, we were already in talks with ZVEX for doing a little bit of content, and I got that thing. So I was like, well, I need to sit on this thing until I can to actually make that content. So it's different. It's not a pure flipping game. There's definitely still flipping in the back of my mind all the time. But now it's like, well, if I get something that I want to flip, I have to look at it and go, well, can I make anything with this that will also work on the Instagram, work on our YouTube channel, everything else.
And also just like
it's a bigger thought process.
A big part of the flipping game is you have to be the person who can leave right away and go get whatever it is. And both of us are like super busy these days. We can't just like take off for lunch and go pick up something.
Yeah, you guys seem
even
to
though
be-
Ryan still works from home, so I don't really understand what changed for him.
I'm hustling hard, man.
And I gotta tell you, being from the Midwest, when you guys say, "Oh, I gotta drive 30 minutes," I just roll my eye. I mean, everyone here in the room saw me. My eyes went in the back of my head.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
You guys have no clue.
Sometimes 30 minutes is only like 5 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the I-5.
Yeah.
Anything that's along the I-5, right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I gotta say, I really appreciate it. I appreciate being here. It just worked out
Thank you.
for me. And one last request: more bass content, please.
More bass content.
That's on you, Steve.
I guess it is on me.
You got to talk about the bass more.
I own 2 basses right now. I don't really ever talk about either of them. I only own 1 bass amp, and it's barely a bass amp. We got people
Yeah,
moving
get up
around.
here,
Let's go,
man.
Leon. This is Leon from Pelican NoiseWorks. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Leon, Pelican NoiseWorks. Leon, I'm from Pelican NoiseWorks. My question is twofold.
Hold on. I'd like to know, he got better applause than we did.
He's a cooler
Good
guy, I guess.
imagination. My question is twofold. Number one is for both of you. Do you guys use any beard oil or treatments to remain looking so fresh all the time?
A friend of mine gave me beard oil, like homemade beard oil for Christmas or something.
What?
I have not used it once. I feel like my beard is oily enough as it is.
Yeah, I've. This is 100% just my oil off of my body. I won't say it's the most epic beard ever, but I have.
Yeah, people are eating.
Follow-up question.
Tiger is going to pay us to come here every Saturday and have this conversation
I'm
over
interested
microphones.
in beard oil, but I've never tried it. So yeah, I'll say that.
Is this the wrong part of the country for beard oil?
I have
It
no idea.
definitely isn't. I think
not.
we have
Okay.
I think we there's definitely a large hipster community in San Diego. So beard oil is, as Emoji Pill reviews would say, keeping it 100. But it is probably. I've never used it, but I heard it smells good.
I'm usually like, my goal with my beard is to make it so that it doesn't have an odor. So like adding things in that have an odor is like counterintuitive to me.
Okay.
This
I
has
do-
been
I
the
do-
Beard Talk podcast. Thanks for listening.
I do
guys.
use sulfate-free shampoo in my beard. I will say
I don't even know what that means.
Sulfate-free. I
My,
believe
my shampoo might be full of sulfates.
I believe my shampoo is also vegan friendly.
Guy, my
And
wife is here, by the way.
silicone-free.
My wife over here.
Why would there
hey,
be silicone?
hey, honey, is our shampoo sulfate free? She just said that hers is.
Are you still using mane and tail, Ryan?
I have used horse shampoo in the past, so.
Sulfate free, yeah. You want or silicone free. A lot of shampoos and conditioners contain silicone.
This is
That's
exactly the
how-
kind of content I had in
that's
mind
how
for the
they,
200th episode.
That's how they add volume to your hair. If you're concerned about volume, you
All right,
may want
anybody
those
else?
silicone.
Anyone else want to come up?
One more.
Okay, one more.
One
Let's
more.
do
Hold on,
it.
I was told this was a two-part
Well, that
question.
one
Oh,
was
let's get it, let's
that
get
was
it.
a side. Anyway,
Let's get it.
next question. How does the flip value of the 50/50 make you guys feel?
Really good.
I'm actually bummed that I haven't sold mine yet.
Well,
Well, you're just too high. Well, to be
Actually-
honest, though, only 2 have sold so far at that inflated price. What was it? It was like $275, and then one at like $310 or something like that.
my favorite part is So the 50/50, which is, I'm super stoked that you were.
He hasn't played it, by the way.
I have not played mine.
Still haven't plugged
it is
it
a
in.
version 50/50. I haven't even opened it. I don't know what the message says.
Yeah, because then you can't sell it at new in box. You know.
But I'm super thankful that you were willing to partner with us on this and doing. We say like, oh, it's just two DoD 250s that you smash together, but there's at least some design in that and putting together the PCB and everything else. I don't know where I was going.
Pick
with
up the
this.
pace, man.
Yeah,
They're slowing down.
One, I'm sad that mine hasn't sold.
Steve is starting to really
I
like.
probably haven't
down.
pushed it hard enough. But yeah, it's
I gotta get this train back on the rails. This is
I
ridiculous.
don't know. What are we talking about? Is it what are we?
So
why am I here?
I'm really excited that a few of our listeners and audience members who bought the 50/50 have been able to trick other people into paying big dollars for them. Oh my gosh, we're getting more beer here. I feel a little bad for those people.
Apparently, this is cider, Ryan, not beer.
That a couple of them, or at least one of them, bought it because they saw the other high prices around. Like one was listed for $5,050, maybe.
That wasn't me.
And
Mine
thought,
was only
hey,
$550.
I should jump on this for $300 and then I can flip it. And that person is like messaging multiple people on Reverb a day, trying to trade it straight up for like Big Skies and stuff like that. So I feel a little bad for that guy, but it is a limited run of these things. There's not a million of them out in the wild, and we are going to have another
50.
We're about to have another run of 30 come out soon. We're waiting for the cases to come in, and I'm going to do...
Hey, we're giving away a prototype. That prototype's got to be worth at least $1,000.
$1,000 prototype right there, right, guys? I hand drew a popsicle on it this morning.
This morning? I'm glad you put so much thought into it, Ryan.
It's drawn with gold ink, too. It's pretty classy.
The
all
gold
right,
50/50.
give us your question, man.
Well, I really just came to fling poop emojis at you for calling me out like that. But I do have a question, and that's even gear related. I even thought of a gear related question to keep it gear related. Shout out,
That's tasty cider.
Gear Talk P and Dub. The question is, what do you guys think?
How dare you?
Sorry.
Let's do it. Let's B-dub.
What do you think the gear industry is going to look like in a couple of years? It seems like there's so many things. I don't know how it could get any bigger. And
It's going to look like a wasteland.
A wasteland.
A lot of leather, a lot of metal spikes,
Yeah.
a lot of homemade weapons. It's going to be real interesting.
Mel Gibson.
Do you think like steampunky?
No, not steampunk at all. I mean, this is oil punk.
So basically what we're looking at
There's
here.
no steam. There's no water left to make steam.
Mel Gibson, Tank Girl, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mars.
Here's my prediction. I think we're going to see the gear industry running into trouble here fairly soon. I think there's a lot of saturation in markets like the pedal market for sure, but I think the little guys are going to survive better than like the medium to larger size companies that base their model on selling in big shops and stuff like that. I think the little guy is always going to survive because it'll always be a side gig for them. They'll be like, I've got an interesting idea. I have a unique take on a circuit, and I can sell, like 5 a month and be happy and run a little side business. And there's always going to be people out there who are curious enough to spend $200, $300 on an interesting take on a concept versus people who are walking into Guitar Center to buy another $120 pedal, So I think we're going to see some bigger companies downscale and kind of fade away a little bit. But I think there will always be interesting stuff coming out from small builders because the box is open. People know how to build pedals now. All the information is out there, and people can do it with a reasonable profit margin as a hobby. So that's my prediction.
I mean, since we've name
Probably
dropped,
the smartest thing I've said
we've
all
name dropped
episode.
every other podcast we listened to so far.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't know what you're talking about.
Gear Nerds a few weeks ago, talked about Moore pedals. And I mean, Moore, I think, is a microcosm of the industry in general, which is that there are certain brands that are building out of China exclusively because they're Chinese brands. Moore, Joyo's kind of in that boat. XVive, Outlaw. I mean, the list goes on
all
and
those
on.
Chinese mini pedal builders.
And a lot of those companies started out just doing straight up clones. But as they move forward, and as they build their market, the question always remains: will they start actually developing their own product that isn't just, hey, let's take, the Moore Black.
Yeah, here's a rat.
The Moore Black Secret, perfect example. You already went there. The Moore Black Secret is a rat that they made a small version of with the 3-position toggle. So
I think people are sick of mini pedals as it is, anyways.
But moving forward, they have these ideas that are like, some of them are Strymon similar, different things. But I think a lot of those companies are coming in really strong, and they're starting to develop standalone products that maybe they are tangentially related to something that is a traditional. I'll say traditional, and when I say traditional, I mean like JHS at this point. I would lump into this traditional, like in the last 10 years, a major American brand. Or Strymon, I would say, is now a traditional brand, even though they haven't been around that long. But they're going to be going head to head with these Chinese companies that are finding ways to not just be clones, but also develop newish or new flexible products. So it is going to be interesting. When we did my F Zone ukulele YouTube video. F Zone and XVive, they use the same company for their distribution. So when we made that video, I sent that back to them and said, hey, if there are any XVive products you want demoed, let us know. And not saying that as a shameless plug. I haven't heard anything back from them.
But totally hit them up if you guys are listening to it at XVive.
Yeah,
because
it is kind of a weird thing where there are these brands that, and some of them, in the case of XVive, with the XVive, I think the pedal is just called the Memory.
Well, XVive makes the chip that everyone uses for Memory Man circuits now.
They made everyone who's trying to clone a deluxe Memory Man is now using the XVive chip, and they have their own version of that pedal, and they're kind of moving forward, being creative.
Yeah,
and
I've always wanted to check out their phaser. They
so
have
it's going to be really
like,
interesting. And
phaser.
Where we are right now is the same place where Japan was in the 80s and where Korea was in the 1990s. That's where China is right now, where, they're cloners, but they're about to take that step into becoming a major market player that is coming up with unique ideas and collaborating with creative designers to come up with new ideas.
I also want to say that the thing I've been saying since we started doing the podcast, and what I'm waiting for the future of like the pedal world and like the gear world, is when like all this like digital pedal stuff becomes like open source. And when someone develops a pedal that you can just load your own code onto, and people can just start developing their own effect code at home, I'm still looking forward to that. And then you can start swapping or selling. I mean, that's already going on with like Kemper stuff. People are swapping and selling their different models that they make. I'd really like to see that happen with pedals. So that might be in the future too. Anyone else want to come up and do a question? We'll do one more. Get up here.
Brian, hey, we got Brian from I'm going to shout this out.
Shout it, man. Shout it out loud.
Brian, and we got Kyle here as well from the
a little shorter.
From the Tone Jerks podcast. I've been listening. There's a podcast called the Tone Jerks.
We're a band too.
Yeah, claps.
Also, Brian sent in a track from their band Playing Without a Pilot that we played with in like 2008 or so.
Yeah.
At I don't even know when.
It was Dream Street. We played.
Street.
Oh gosh.
There we go.
I remember talking to you guys. About gear.
The
thing is, every time we talk about gear, I'm just like, somebody talks about it, and I'm just like, I just like listen. I'm like,
let's see what they say.
What do you have to say? I'm like, oh, I want to know. So, yeah. So
nobody saw you duck ball the microphone.
Aaron,
I just want to pause this to let everyone know that Aaron said off mic, this is an audio medium, and that we need to communicate through audio so that everyone can hear.
The gear slum.
Aaron from the Gear Slum said this is an audio medium.
Look here,
not
you-
on the audio.
Look here, you idiot.
That was the point I was making, Steve.
Shut up.
Okay, so this is one thing I wanted to bring up. So I am really.
This sounds like a criticism.
No. Hey, this is one thing I'm really into.
Steve, stop interrupting. Let's get this over with. I want to
like,
hang out and drink.
You're filibustering me right now. So
Please, go ahead and talk.
In a Trump presidency, I don't know if that's a bad thing.
Yeah, hey.
Sorry to stop interrupting. You go ahead and say something.
So
Just whenever you're ready.
so about
Wait, hold
gear.
on. Are you starting right now?
Okay, let's let him start. Let's let him do it for real.
So about gear, have you found anything that you've? I guess it kind of is from two different sources. So you're either play at church and more controlled environment, or you play in a bar in some not so controlled
Yeah.
environment. Hey, yeah. I'm in San Diego. I know what you're playing. So have you found like gear that you're like, or pedals or equipment that you're like, it really works in my house?
Oh yeah.
You bring it into the situation. You're like, this doesn't sound so good. Like, have you like, because you have been like either like demoed
Sure.
stuff, like what have you like been able to like kind of gauge what works in
So-
a live environment and what doesn't, what works in recording, what doesn't, back and forth?
For me, like, what I really experienced is that the gear is really different, not just in between home and the gig, but it's also different between home and practice and the gig. Like for my church band, like I can get super high gainy, like lots of fuzz during practice, and then for some reason, Sunday morning comes around and like that stuff doesn't work anymore, and I've got it all on my board, and like I guess I'm not stacking fuzzes
Like
this
all,
time.
all the frequencies could be off, right?
Yeah, and it's just like the mood is different too. Like we were just totally aggressive during practice and just letting it all out, and then we pull back so far during the actual service. And then for like bar shows, I really find like I can stack a ton of pedals at home and do whatever I'm doing, songwriting and recording. I get to a bar and really I just want like 2 or 3 pedals, you know?
Because you're like, I pump like 2 or 3 presets or whatever, 2 or 3 sounds, and you're like, I'm good.
That's it.
Whatever. You're like, and in between sounds, you're like, I'm gonna drink a couple beers.
Yeah. I don't even change like the tremolo tempo during a bar set. I'm like, it just is what it is. I'm just gonna, keep playing.
Just as long as you play the right key in the right time, people are like,
That doesn't even
you're
matter
like,
for me.
oh, you're rocking, you're rocking, baby. You just gotta have the dinosaur heads. You're like, going.
What's your
in
take?
time.
What's your take on this, Steve?
I mean,
make it short this
It's
time.
kind of
Jeez,
hard.
Louise.
We record all of our we recorded all of our morning glass stuff in one shot.
Sorry,
and-
Did you do it all live?
No, we did it. We did it actually in like a studio, which was
it's a church closet.
A church closet.
You gotta get it in the closet, baby. That's where I keep it.
But I think in hindsight, I would have used a different amp. I would have used. I don't know if I would have used different pedals, but I definitely would have used a different amp. And sometimes it's hard to gauge that stuff because the amp that I was using originally when we started was a different amp for the morning glass that I used when we ended. And there's something sometimes that you just don't feel until you've played a bunch of shows. And you've tried out like you do one amp with you do one show with one amp.
Yeah, and sometimes you're filling out different frequencies, especially you're playing bass, right? Or you're playing guitar?
So in the morning class, I was playing guitar, and your favorite band, I was playing bass. And in that case, like I always was worried that I didn't have enough power. And I was jumping on different forums, and they were saying like, "Oh, you're only using 100 watts. What's wrong with you?" But what I learned,
500.
exactly what I learned over time was like I started with a 110 watt amp. I jumped to a 130 watt amp, and then I jumped to a 300 watt amp. What I realized was that my core tone as a bass player was at 110 watts cranked because for the band that we were playing in, I just wanted those dirty mids.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with that.
And so with the 300 watts clean, it just never sounded right. And I tried a bunch of different, a bunch of different gain pedals, and I realized, none of those gain pedals could do what a 110 watt amp cranked would do, right? And the same thing with the guitar. Like I used a small 1x10 combo, 75 watts for recording. But once we got live and comfortable, I was using the same
Got a
110
car alarm
watt
going
amp
on.
that I used as a bass player. That was what I was using live, and that's what I was comfortable with. And so it's one of those things where you never know until you are consistently taking things into, every bar in San Diego is the same friggin' 30-foot by 100-foot room.
Yeah.
And it's kind of different because it's like, not to like throw it back, but I'm like, we've played in front of like 30 people in a small room. We played in front of like 1,500 people in a big room. And so it goes back and forth. It's like you kind of want your rig to be able to do whatever. I'm like, do you guys kind of gauge everything per room, or are you just kind of like, we're going to figure it out?
I just, when I play live, I leave the tube amps at home and I bring whatever solid state amp I think will get loud enough for the room. Like I totally use this Katana right here for church just because I know it'll sit at the right volume and sound all right with pedals into it. And then for Dinosaur Ghosts, I use the acoustic 150 because I know I'm going to be able to just blow windows out if I need to, or it'll be able to get nice and quiet. And I don't have to worry about hauling around a really heavy tube amp or
That's
something.
the 110 watt amp that I've used for everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's the thing is sometimes I guess it depends on what you're doing. We've played in the different bands that Ryan and I have been in, we've played enough small rooms where if I take 110 watts in there, I can never turn up loud enough to be comfortable, right? But I've also played enough small rooms where I bring in a smaller amp that's different and I can never dial it in right. So it's like, am I better off bringing in a different amp that I can't really dial in? Or am I better off just bringing in the big amp and turning it down? And that's always kind of a big question with playing live.
And I guess that's part of the fun of it, too, because it's like every place you play, you're like, you're going to be the guy who's dialing it all in. He's like, it's like, everybody else is like, I just want to plug in and play and grab some beers, whatever. And I'm always the guy who's like, let me dial this in. I'm going to dial the bass in. Here we go.
Are you throwing Kyle under the bus right now? Because he's here right now.
He's...
He has real feelings over there.
Him.
Oh, Steve, party foul.
Party foul.
You didn't get it on the wheel. That's
you
nice.
Still got some. You still got some in. And like to me, I'm like, I always like to dial in every EQ. And I'm like, to me, it's fun. Other people are like, oh, I don't care, or like it's a nightmare. So I guess like that's what I wanted to figure out. I'm like, you guys are in two totally different scenarios.
Yeah.
And I wanted to figure out.
I let the rest of the band figure it out. I just turn it up and.
You're like, I'm the guitar player. Yeah. You figure it out.
It sounds good to me.
That's what you need. You're the guitar player, so it's me, baby. It's you to figure it out.
And that's kind of the craziness, even with looking at like the live scenarios that we've played in and Ryan is still playing in versus the church scenarios we play in. I played electric guitar at church like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I used the Wong's Mini 5, which is a little 5-watt tube head, into a speaker cabinet that is literally 30 feet away. So I have
like isolated, right?
Yeah, it's semi-isolated. So I'm using in-ears. I have no idea what it actually sounds like. All I'm being told is, oh, dude, like, that's the sound we've been missing because, like, if I'm not playing the electric guitar,
all you get is, like, that's good or no.
Exactly. We have normal weeks. We have acoustic guitar. We have piano. We have drums and bass. So, literally, I don't think we've recorded since I played electric at church. But I had different people coming up to me going, like, oh, that's that sound we've been missing. I'm like, no, what it really is it's that high mid frequency.
This sound.
Back
to the Future.
It's just a frequency range. I'm not even that good.
Let's wrap this up. Let's call it an episode.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I didn't do a count. I don't know how many people are here. Please come up to Steve and get a ticket for the raffle we're going to do very soon here. If you don't have one already, it's 1 ticket per person here. We're going to give away some cool stuff. But also, big thanks to Sinasoid. Big thanks to Pelican NoiseWorks. They both sponsored this episode. They're going to be both giving away stuff. Thanks to everyone who came out. This is incredible.
Thanks to everyone who's going to listen to this. By our current counts, we are sitting around 3,000 or 4,000.
Big thanks to Kevin Equitz is here. We got guitars around. We got guitars from Equus here. We've got guitars from Ian Anderson here that are
Ian
really
Anderson.
cool to look at.
Where's Ian at? I don't even see him.
There
right
he
now.
is. He's right there.
There he is.
Steve has had
Ian-
so much to drink he can't see Ian.
Shut your mouth. Ian was at our 100th episode. He was at our 200th episode.
Yeah.
He's been
Yeah.
hanging out with us for a long time.
He's a really great local builder that makes like, just amazing Les Paul style guitars.
Thanks again to everybody who listened to this. We're hitting 3,000 or 4,000 feed hits per week. I think our Instagram's over 10,000. Our YouTube's over 10,000.
We're coming up on
So-
13 on YouTube.
I don't know, man. All I do is regulate the comments.
It's crazy. We're worlds different than we were at 100 episodes.
Yeah, so thank
it's
you,
crazy.
everybody who listens to us, who supports us in one way or another, whether that's through the inner circle, whether that's through the best friends
Big
level.
thanks to our wives who have put up with all of this.
Yeah.
My wife is over here if you want to meet her. My wife.
I literally told Melissa last night, my wife, she said, so how long is this going to take tomorrow? And I was like, all I know is I'm leaving at about 11:30, and I don't know when I'm coming home.
My wife is here because I think I guilted her a little bit.
So again, thank you everybody who listens, everyone who supports us in any way. And if you're not supporting us through the inner circle, but
Screw you.
Dang, dude.
No. If you're listening, if you listen once a year, it's like thanks. For
if you're
being
in the
part of this.
Facebook group, if you're commenting on YouTube, if you're commenting anywhere, if you are buying from any of the brands who support us,
if you're making nasty comments towards us anywhere, thank you. It's awesome. They're the best. Yeah, I post screen grabs of the best YouTube comments to the inner circle, and we all discuss them.
If you're sending us your local Craigslist ads or things
man.
you stumble on Reverb, that's what keeps this show going.
It
so
really
thank
is.
you so much.
That is what makes this show still possible, is that most of the content comes from the listeners and the people on the Facebook group. It's just incredible. It's the reason that we get to still do this, because honestly, we don't have the time anymore.
Yeah, so this song...
Here we go.
This was sent to us by Lee Sander. I have no idea who Lee Sander is, but apparently...
I've seen the name before.
I'm gonna have a tender moment. He says, "What up, guys? I used to love the YFB song "Stop Signs."
Here we go.
Way back in the day, which was when we say way back, when he
Like a
says way back,
decade?
that's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I started playing guitar and would frequent Christian Guitar Resource, which is a web forum online.
A forum, you say?
Yeah, forum.
Interesting. On the internet?
On the internets. He says, I started listening on September 30th from the latest episode. Just finished the first episode this morning. Didn't hit me until you were didn't hit me that you were the same dudes until I got about halfway through. I dig the show, and every time Ryan talks about hot licks, I lose my shit. There's our explicit rating.
Oh, great. Here we go.
I've been working on some new songs, but none of them are done, so I'm sending in an older song from a previous iteration of my band. The band name at the time was called Flood the Roots, and the title of the track is Waka Flocka and the Chocolate Factory.
What?
It was
I can't wait to hear this thing.
It was recording during my 2002 highway, using my 2002 Highway 1 Strat with the hot rails in the bridge into a Bugera 5150 clone. I don't remember the name of the model. I borrowed it from my uncle.
Do you have more?
Yeah, using a Macy Clab clone.
Clab clone.
Cab clone. Then straightened my vocalist engineering audio interface with an iMac and Logic Pro X. We never actually put this track out anywhere, so this is a 60 Cycle Home exclusive.
Whoa, here we go.
This guy's name is Ryan, but I have no idea who he is on the group. And we're playing
might be me.
For the first time. This was Lee Sander. I hope you guys enjoy this track.
Don't play it through the mic. We'll play it over the thing later.
And,
No. We'll play it through the katana.
Yeah, thanks everyone who was here.
Also, a big thanks to
tonight.
everyone over 200 episodes who's sent their songs in. That's a huge deal,
Yeah.
and it's been a big part of the show for us, and always really exciting that people still send their songs to us.
I just can't push hard enough that, we've been doing this for so long.
4 years now.
Almost 4 years. That I don't know why we're still doing this.
Because I make a little bit of money doing it. That's why.
That's true. But just seeing this turn out today here in San Diego, seeing this little back patio filled up, I don't know, man. What's another 200 episodes?
I know, right? We could probably go to any major city in the U.S. and get at least 15 people there if we wanted to do a very expensive, not worth it tour.
Yeah, so thanks everyone here again. Thanks everyone here. Thanks everyone who listens. Here's the song. I hope you
Later, guys.
I hope you love it.